Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the self you've identified with your entire life, the collection of thoughts, experiences, beliefs, and emotions, was never truly you. What if everything you thought you knew about yourself, your identity, and your consciousness was a construct? This is the radical insight of the Buddhist concept of no-self or Anatta. But how does this concept manifest in Zen Buddhism? And what implications does it have for how we understand identity, self, and consciousness? In Zen practice, this realization goes beyond intellectual understanding. It's an experiential awakening that changes everything. Let's explore how Zen Buddhism interprets the doctrine of no-self and how its emphasis on direct experience through meditation offers a unique path to understanding these profound questions. Before we dive into the depths of Zen Buddhism and the concept of no-self, welcome to the Unfolding Journey YouTube channel. This space is dedicated to exploring profound philosophical, spiritual, and psychological ideas that challenge our conventional understanding of life. Whether you're someone who's new to these topics or an experienced seeker, we're thrilled to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe and join us as we journey through transformative ideas that illuminate the path to deeper self-awareness and enlightenment. Let's begin. The Buddhist concept of no-self, Anatta. To understand the Zen interpretation of the concept of no-self, Anatta, we first need to grasp what Anatta means in the context of Buddhism. Anatta, or enlightenment in Sanskrit, is one of the three fundamental characteristics of existence in Buddhist philosophy, alongside impermanence, anicca, and suffering, dukkha. It is often translated as no self, not self, or absence of a permanent, unchanging soul. In traditional Buddhist teachings, the notion of a permanent, unchanging self, often linked to the idea of an eternal soul, is rejected. Buddhism teaches that what we perceive as the self is actually a collection of constantly changing aggregates or processes, including physical form, the body, sensations, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. These five aggregates, the skandhas, are constantly in flux, and none of them are self in the sense of an enduring, independent essence. This absence of a permanent self is crucial in understanding how suffering arises and how it can be alleviated. According to the Buddhist teachings, attachment to the self, believing in the permanence of our identities and experiences, leads to suffering. When we let go of this attachment, we are free from the cycle of craving and aversion that keeps us trapped in samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. However, in Zen Buddhism, this understanding of Anatta takes on a more immediate and experiential quality. Zen practice does not merely invite intellectual understanding of no-self. It encourages direct realization through meditation, where the experience of no-self becomes palpable and transformative. Zen Buddhism's unique interpretation of no-self. Zen Buddhism, with its emphasis on direct experience and meditation, Zazen, offers a distinctive interpretation of Anatta. In Zen, the notion of no-self isn't just a philosophical concept to be understood in the mind. It's a realization that comes through deep meditation and mindfulness in daily life. Zen masters often express the concept of no-self through paradoxical sayings and koans, riddles, or paradoxical statements used in meditation to break conventional thinking. One famous Zen saying is, "Not thinking is the thinking of the Buddha," which points to the dissolution of the self-centered, discursive thinking that perpetuates our sense of a fixed, independent identity. The Zen practitioner is encouraged to let go of the mental habit of clinging to thoughts, concepts, and identities. At its core, Zen challenges the very notion of a permanent self by pointing out that what we typically consider self is a continuous process of change, not a static entity. The moment we believe we have a fixed identity, we are trapped in an illusion. Zen asks us to wake up from this illusion and experience life as it is, unencumbered by preconceived notions of who we are or who we should be. In Zen, the realization of no-self is not a transcendental concept to be grasped by the intellect. Rather, it's a direct experience of non-duality. This experience reveals that the self is not separate from the world around it. The boundaries we draw between me and you, subject, and object, are illusory. By seeing through these illusions, we can experience a profound sense of unity with all things. Implications for understanding identity and the self. Zen's interpretation of no-self has significant implications for how we view identity and the self. In contrast to the modern, Western conception of the self as a stable, individual entity that exists independently of others, Zen proposes a fluid and interconnected sense of self that is inextricably linked to the entire web of life. This interconnectedness is seen as a liberation rather than a loss. In Zen, there is no need to cling to a fixed, limited identity to find meaning or purpose in life. When we let go of the need to define ourselves through labels, such as I am a doctor, I am a mother, or I am successful, we begin to experience life as it truly is, unfiltered by personal attachments and desires. The realization of no-self opens up a profound space for freedom. We are no longer bound by the fear of losing our identity, because there is no permanent identity to lose. Instead, we can experience life in its ever-changing, dynamic flow. This realization is transformative, as it shifts our focus from self-preservation and ego-driven desires to simply being present and engaged in the world around us. Furthermore, the Zen experience of no-self challenges the very nature of consciousness. If there is no permanent self, then what is consciousness? In Zen, consciousness is not something that belongs to itself. Rather, it is seen as an ongoing process that emerges through the interaction of mind and world. The awareness we experience is not a fixed entity. It arises in each moment, intimately connected to the totality of existence. This view of consciousness as an open, dynamic process invites a deep sense of humility, as we come to understand that our awareness is not separate from the vast, interconnected world. Meditation as the path to direct experience. In Zen Buddhism, meditation, Zazen, is the primary means through which one can experience the truth of no-self. While intellectual understanding of Anatta provides a helpful foundation, it is through direct meditation practice that this insight becomes an embodied experience. Zazen, the practice of seated meditation, is central to Zen. During Zazen, practitioners sit quietly, focusing on their breath or a koan, allowing thoughts to come and go without attachment. The practice cultivates mindfulness and presence, helping to quiet the incessant mental chatter that reinforces the illusion of a separate, permanent self. As the mind calms and the practitioner becomes more attuned to the present moment, the sense of a fixed I begins to dissolve. In Zazen, there is a profound shift from the conceptual mind to direct experience. The experience of no-self is not a thought or intellectual concept. It is the felt experience of being fully alive and present, free from the constraints of egoic identity. When the practitioner fully immerses themselves in the experience of the present moment, they realize that the boundaries between self and other, subject and object, are not as solid as they appear. The process of meditation in Zen practice mirrors the teaching of Anatta, that all things are impermanent, interconnected, and without an inherent self. Through meditation, the practitioner experiences this truth directly. The self is not something that can be grasped or held onto. It is an ongoing process of becoming, continually flowing and changing with the world. The transformative power of direct experience. The transformative power of Zen meditation lies in its ability to directly reveal the nature of reality. Zen does not rely on abstract philosophical discourse or dogmatic teachings. Instead, it emphasizes direct, experiential wisdom. When we practice Zazen with full presence and awareness, we realize that the self is not something to be found or clung to. It is something that emerges in each moment, only to disappear again. This realization is liberating. It frees us from the endless cycle of self-concern and ego-driven desires. By letting go of the need to defend or project a fixed identity, we experience life as a flow of interconnected moments, each one unique and precious. In this sense, meditation becomes not just a practice for personal insight, but a means of awakening to the interconnected, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting new video. The path to understanding the deeper truths of existence is a lifelong journey, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. Whether you're exploring Zen meditation, contemplating the nature of self, or seeking greater awareness in your daily life, our channel offers insights that help you unlock the potential for inner peace and enlightenment. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to share it with others who might find this perspective on identity and meditation transformative. And, as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Leave a comment below with your reflections on the Zen interpretation of no self or any questions you might have. Thank you for being a part of the unfolding journey. See you in the next video, where we continue to explore the timeless wisdom of ancient teachings for modern living. Subscribe, like, and share for more transformative insights into philosophy, mindfulness, and personal growth. Join us on the journey towards deeper understanding and true freedom from the illusions of the self. In exploring the Zen interpretation of Anatta, the Buddhist concept of no self, we see that the path to understanding identity, the self, and consciousness is not a matter of intellectualization, but of direct experience. Through the practice of meditation, we can begin to realize that the self is not a static, unchanging entity, but rather a fluid, interconnected process. This awakening leads us beyond the constraints of ego and into a deeper connection with the world and each other. It is through meditation that we access this liberating wisdom, where the boundaries of self and other dissolve, and we come to realize that the true nature of consciousness is not separate from the flow of life itself. Let us continue this unfolding journey together. And as always, take a moment today to meditate and experience the truth of no self for yourself.